Good morning, free thinkers, and happy Easter to you. Happy Resurrection Day. Just show you a couple things that are helping me and helping many people get through a shred time in their life. And when I say shred, that doesn't mean we're seeing every sinew, every vein, we're actually just kind of shedding the pounds, and I am kind of calling it a summer shred, as opposed to like what some dickheads are saying. You're not shredded, man. Don't call yourself shredded. One asswipe said, I see plenty of 60-year-olds at the gym every day, and you're not shredded. I'm like, all right, dude, okay. He's no longer with us. Let's just have a moment of silence for the people that are no longer with us in the past several days with the summer shred. So let's just bow our heads for those that committed YouTube suicide. There we go. Okay, good. So let me just show you what I'm doing. You ever see like these big popcorn tins? They're huge, and they usually contain like 3 bags of popcorn. And I use this to put my pork rinds, my chicharrones in. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And this is heavy. There's a lot in here. I've bought several brands in the past week. And rather than just putting a clothespin on the bags all the time, I just put everything in here. So I'll show you what's in here. I have the house brand of pork skins. The really hard ones, really crunchy ones, the kind that give you like they hurt your brain when you chew them, but they're good. Those are good. I got those at the Spanish store. I got the Spanish and Caribbean store. These are much, much better. I don't know if you can see how they look. These are much better. These might be my favorites of all time. I used to like the Goya ones, but I like these better. So this huge bag, I mean, I already ate half the bag, but this bag was $5.79, so under $6. They're priced at $9.99 a pound, so they're pretty darn huge. What else? I think you'll like them too. Just great for snacking. These I haven't tried yet. These are called Howard's. They kind of look like the hard ones that I like, although there's so much color on the packaging. And only a little bit that you can see through the transparency of the bag. It looks like I might like them. I'm not sure, but I guess I won't know until I open the actual bag itself. What else? These are the kinds that I can't eat anymore. You know, like those, they're just like styrofoam packing peanuts. Like, just very airy. I don't like them. After having stuff like this, you can't go back to like those airy, fluffy things anymore. The Guerrero ones, I like. You can look at them. I don't know. Can you see? There we go. That's probably the best. They're really good. They're not airy. They say fried out pork fat with attached skin. You want the attached skin. That's going to be key. These Parks original pork cracklins, fried out pork with attached skin. Let's take a look at them. Very similar to what I'm talking about. They're hard. I don't want those fluffy styrofoam packing peanut things. What else? Now these ones are called, this is La Vista strips, pork cracklins, fried out pork fat with attached skin, chili and lime flavor. And I'll show you those. That's what they look like. And these are actually very good. As far as any of the flavors, I've seen salt and vinegar, barbecue. I'm like, ugh, gross. I don't like, I like them basically salted. That is it. This chili and lime flavor is actually doable. And I'm always very hesitant, always very, very hesitant to eat something that has flavor, like flavor added to it, you know. So there we go. So I put them in here. And this really is a great, and believe it or not, like why aren't I closing these back up? I like them better when they're exposed to the air. Believe it or not, they just have a better chewing consistency than when you first open the bag. That's my experience. So I put them all in here. hard ones. These make great dog treats too. And they're cheaper than the dog treats that you currently get. So honestly, your dog will love these. 100% carnivore for your dog. These are just out of this world. These, like I said, I got these from the Spanish and Caribbean store. Out of this world. Put them all in this huge tin. Cover that up. And this tin pretty much goes out into the Van Gogh room for me. So if I'm out there sipping on something or having a cigar or a pipe or something like that, I can munch without eating junk. It's like a... I've learned to... Here's the problem. When you eliminate certain foods without replacing them with a healthy alternative, I think you have a greater chance of failing and not reaching your goals of losing weight. Now remember, we're all losing weight, right? But if you're not doing resistance exercises, you're going to end up with kind of like thin, flabby skin. Rather than being fat and flabby, you're going to be skinny and flabby. All right, so you want to build the muscle underneath the fat, and you'll start getting your definition back. And for some of you, that will mean getting more vascular and more shredded. For those that are into the bodybuilding, I like, I guess I would call it more like fitness, weightlifting, and not so much bodybuilding for me. I want to be functionally strong. I want functional fitness. For instance, I have to do work on the back deck. I got to move the gas grill. I've got to just move crap around, patio furniture. I got to power wash it. I got to stain it. You know, things like that. I got to put together, there's going to be a I'm putting together 3 planters that are, that I'm going to grow herbs in. So the herbs are at about, you know, like chest height. So you don't have to kneel down in a garden. They're literally big, giant planters that are about this high, and they're on legs, and they have a shelf underneath that you can put any like gardening tools or whatever you want. So I'm putting 3 of those together. Doesn't sound like a lot of work, but each one of those boxes is pretty heavy. The gas grill, that's a heavy gas grill, even though it's on wheels. I'm going to take it off the deck. I have 3 propane cylinders, you know, the big ones, and I'll be moving them. They're filled and they're pretty heavy. So when I say functional fitness, I'm talking about, can you work half a day in your house? Can you rearrange a room? Can I take this like love seat upstairs to a sitting room, like a little reading room? Can I do that by myself? If I can take off the cushion, and I can put this up on its end and kind of walk it to the stairs and then just walk it up the stairs. But would it be easier with 2 people? Sure, of course it would. But I don't always have access to other people all the time. So I want to be self-sufficient for the rest of my life. And that's going to take functional fitness. Functional fitness is you can do crap on your own. Stuff on your own. Functional fitness is rearranging the furniture. If I ever want to rearrange, if I want to take the TV from over here and put it against this wall and take the sofa and love seat and make it like an L-shaped thing over there, I got to do that. If I want to move books, put them in a box, take that box, move it over, move the bookshelves, that kind of thing. That's what functional fitness is. But you will not be functionally fit without looking good. That's the beautiful thing about being functionally fit, that you will literally improve the way you look. Everything is going to change. Your clothes are going to fit differently. Get rid of your big clothes. Get used to the small clothes. You'll fill out clothing better. You'll be able to wear fitted clothing. You'll just look better. You command more respect when you walk into a room somewhere, if that's important to you. For those that are in business, that could be very important. You want to attract people into your life. I'm looking at the monitor here, and I see my little blood pressure cuff right here. I take my blood pressure on a regular basis because that was an issue for me, and that's something that I'm still dealing with. I know there are family members that have hypertension, and for many years we heard that high blood pressure is a silent killer. And part of what I'm doing is to lower blood pressure as well and get rid of any medication that I'm taking right now. And at my age, there's a lot of people, typically, like I wasn't blessed with the kind of genetics where my blood pressure is normal and my glucose is normal. I ended up having type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and looking decent. So I worked out to look good, but still blood pressure through the roof, glucose level through the roof. And I was on a lot of different medications, and I'm slowly weaning myself off of things under the direction of a doctor, but a very awakened doctor, not a woke doctor. I'm not interested in the food pyramid. I'm not interested in that bullshit. I'm not interested in just like keep adding more pills. What I need to do is drop down 20 pounds. I need to go, here's my quest, to get down to like 175, 180. That's what I want to do. I started out last week, I was like 197, 198. I put on, I was like 190 at the beginning of winter. I put on 7 or 8 pounds. I really need to get down to 175, 180, even though for many people it'll say, oh, that's too thin for you. It's not too thin for my health goals. I may end up looking pretty darn different. And I mean, I noticed that when I've lost weight, when I was younger and lost weight, my nose looked bigger. I actually looked completely different. Like when you have a beard, your beard looks huge. When you have like a thin face and a big beard, it's weird. It's like, hey, does this face make my beard look big? And it actually does. It's kind of funny. Like the smaller my face gets, the huger my goatee will look and the huger my nose will be. I don't care as long as my lab work numbers are down below. That's all that matters to me. What I don't want to do is huff and puff. Like for instance, when I do like power walks, you walk fast enough where here's the deal. I can't stand running. Hate running. I hate jogging. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Unless I'm on the beach and I run I walk from jetty to jetty, and then I sprint from jetty to jetty, and then walk from to the next jetty and then sprint, like that kind of thing. Those of you who are Jersey Shore people, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the jetties. I've never seen them like in Florida where my family is. So I have to just, determine, where I sprint from. I'll pick something in the distance and then run to that thing, and then pick something in the distance and then walk to that thing. So, but those of you that are familiar with jetties and like physical things on a beach, it's just a great metric. I don't know how far jetties are apart, like at the Jersey Shore. I have no idea. I guess I could Google that and find that out. But there's a such thing as a leisurely walk, and then a fast walk, and then a power walk. A power walk is where you're actually moving your arms a little bit more, and you're using your arms to actually help propel you a little bit. They kind of propel you forward, and that's kind of a natural thing. And a power walk is a walk where it's almost hard to talk. Like you can take a stroll with somebody and have a conversation. You can have a faster walk with somebody and have a conversation. If you're doing a power walk, it's almost hard to it's almost hard to talk because you're like catching your breath. You're breathing deeper. I don't think conversation is as possible when you're doing a power walk. And to me, that's right below a slow jog. I kind of like that power walking speed. When I used to walk Valley Forge Park, it was I think it was 5.5 miles, and I would do it in 1 hour and 15 minutes, do the loop at Valley Forge National Park, which has hills, ups and downs. There is no better place as far as I'm concerned. And then sometimes I'd go to Peace Valley Park, and that loop is 6.2 miles, but it's not as hilly. I like the hills. I like going in and out of the woods. I like when the trails are like every couple hundred yards at Valley Forge, the scenery changed. It goes from like open battlefield to you're walking through the woods, to up a hill, down a hill, past streams, past statues, through the arch, the whole thing. And those of you that live in that area know exactly what I'm talking about. Lake Galena, Peace Valley Park, not the same. Walton Road Park in Plymouth Meeting, I forget what that is. I think it might be, maybe that's like a half mile, 3/4 of a mile loop, if I'm not mistaken, where Villanova baseball practices there. So, hey, if you want to watch Villanova baseball team practice, they're at Walton Park at Germantown and Walton Road. If any of you want to see some just great baseball in action, you know, that's where they do their practice at. What else? I know my neighborhood there's 4 hills. You don't feel those hills when you're driving, obviously. When you're walking, I'll tell you where you feel it, is if you ride a single speed bike around this neighborhood. My neighborhood is a 2-mile loop. 2-mile loop. If you ride a single speed bike around the loop here, you'll all of a sudden it will occur to you that, oh my God, there's some hills here, because there's some areas where you will coast, and then other areas where you're standing up and really pumping as you're pedaling, and it's pretty trippy, but you don't realize it. Like, even when you're walking, you don't notice it as much, but when you're riding a single speed bike, like a beach cruiser kind of thing, you're like, damn, there's some hills in this neighborhood. And there are 4 hills that you hardly recognize. Even when you're driving, you don't think these are hills. But when you're doing a fast walk, it really affects your talking. If you're like, if I'm walking and talking, you know, on my phone, you know, I'm breathing heavy, and I'd rather not. So I'd rather just not talk at all, that kind of thing. I'd rather just put on the bone conduction headphones and walk and listen to a podcast or something like that. So while you are doing carnivore or mostly meat, switching your snacking from shit that's deep fried in canola oil and corn oil and having processed food and that kind of stuff, look for the chicharrones, the pork rinds that are actually fried in lard. Your body will snap into shape, literally will just boom, just go right into shape. You'll see your form just change over literally over the weeks. It will happen. And make sure that you drink a lot of water. That's going to be absolute key. You know what I like to say? I like to say 2 to 4 bottles of water a day. Now, think about, what is a bottle of water? It's 16 ounces. It's a pint, just like a big glass of water. So 2 to 4 big glasses of water. I just say bottles. I'm not saying you have to drink bottled water, but I bought like, you know, I have like Nalgene bottles that I put filtered water in, and that's what I do. And I drink anywhere between the equivalent, like right now, it's like 2 bottles of water a day. When the weather gets hot, I mean, literally, when you have to have the AC on, like that kind of weather, it's 4 bottles go down just like that. I can't drink, you know, you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. I can't drink that much a day. I just can't. I guess maybe if I was doing physical labor, if I was working as a roofer or a landscaper or working outside, that might be a different story. I just can't drink that much water. I can't do it. Can't do it. I drink when I'm thirsty, and or when I feel myself getting thirsty. Thirst is a beautiful thing. One of the ways that you can keep from being dehydrated is every time you walk past a water fountain, take a sip. Every time, just take a sip. Doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to sit there and just, you know, and just keep drinking the water. Just take a sip. A sip, literally like a 3-second sip. Just keep the influx of water going in your body, and you're going to be fine. Another thing that I have found out now, obviously after 10 days of summer shreds, 10 days of mostly meat carnivore, is that I'm not getting up and peeing in the middle of the night. I try to go to bed. I try to go to bed at 8 o'clock, but I wake up at 4 every day, no matter what. Usually I will have gotten up once to go to the bathroom, but I haven't. I go to the bathroom now when I get up. So I don't know what that's all about. But that has actually helped me get, you know, a deeper and longer sleep. I have to look at my sleep tracker, and I want to see what my sleep looked like for the past 10 days. I'm going to see if that improved. So I'm just looking at all the different metrics. Am I stronger? Yes, I'm stronger. Does my body look better when I look in a mirror, you know, with no shirt on? Yes, it just literally is. My body looks 50% better than it did 10 days ago. Because, you know, I'm doing the bands workouts, I'm doing the chin-ups, the pull-ups, the hammer grip pull-ups. What else? I haven't walked enough in the 10 days, and I need to incorporate that back. I just don't want to walk at 4 o'clock in the morning in the dark anymore by myself. I don't want to be assaulted. You know, I am 4 miles outside of Philly, and there is buses that come out of Philly. And there's bus stops all along the roads, and just a block away. And basically, public transportation just means shit transportation. It's transporting shit from shithole areas in Philadelphia to the suburbs. And the buses more than the trains. And I don't want to make a societal or sociological commentary here, but whenever you see public transportation, you see a lot of crime. And there's proof of that everywhere. What I don't want to do, like people say, hey man, this neighborhood has gone down a lot in the past 10 years. I think anything outside of a city has had its challenges. Not saying that gated communities are the answer, but I will tell you, open communities definitely have their share of shit. I will tell you that. And what I don't want to do is be assaulted, robbed, beat up, or anything like that. And at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, if something like that happened, or, you know, if I had a cardiac event and went down, you know, Andrew Breitbart style, you know, who would see me until like 5 or 6 o'clock, you know? So walking in the dark, because it doesn't start to get light till about 6. So walking in the dark at 4 o'clock in the morning, even though I did it for so long, I just don't feel safe doing it, to be honest with you. So will it be a little bit later in the day? Probably, yeah. I like taking a stroll in the evening. For instance, you know, if I get married, that kind of thing, I would hope that my wife and I would take a stroll in the evenings, not a power walk. I don't want a power walk in the evening, you know, after dinner time or meal number 2, that kind of thing. I'd rather take a nice stroll. You know how like when you eat dinner and say, hey, I got to work this off or walk this off. I would much rather do that casually, but I'm talking about on purpose, deliberate, intentional exercising, fast walking, listening to a podcast with bone conduction headphones, not something in my ear, not something covering my ear, even though I only have hearing in one ear, and even that's not very good. I can still hear a car horn. I can still hear a car coming around a corner. And what I don't want to do is put myself in jeopardy in that way. So I like the bone conduction headphones because the actual transducer itself rests like right about here. You know, the thing comes around your head and they rest here. So it leaves your ear open to hear things. That's the good thing about bone conduction headphones. What else? And then, of course, what I like to do before I leave for a walk is I just down a bottle of water. That's what I do. I just like, and just down that bottle of water or a big glass of water, filtered water from the kitchen. And then when I get back, I usually have about half a glass of water, or if it's really hot out, then a whole glass of water. So there's a few techniques. I think just like as every video goes by, you're going to pick up just one usable, actionable thing, whether it be the pork rinds. Not all pork rinds are equal, I will tell you that. I also believe that doing the crunchier pork rinds, not the styrofoam packing peanut ones, but the actual crunchier ones with the attached skin, I think they signal neurologically, they signal satiety to your body, and they make you feel like you're actually eating something. They're more substantial. That's what I have found out. What else? Anyone can do this. Holy crap. Anybody can do this. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. You can do this. One of my goals would be to be as shredded, and I will use the word properly when I say this, be as shredded as Paul Ravella, and he's a natural bodybuilder and trainer. I think he's in like the Tampa St. Pete area, but his channel is called Paul Ravella, and it looks like Revelia, but it's spelled R-E-V-E-L-I-A. Revelia, but he pronounces it Ravella. I like his channel. I'm learning a lot from his channel, and even though I think he's 10 or more years younger than me, but so I learn a lot from him. The other one that I really learn a lot from is Mark McKillier, and his channel is called Live Anabolic. Live Anabolic. And I think if you're over 40, Live Anabolic YouTube channel is phenomenal. Phenomenal. He used to work pretty close with Mark Sisson, who was a triathlete. And I think Mark Sisson he had a food brand that he ended up selling for multiple millions. Just became super rich. Now I guess he lives in the Miami area. But Mark Sisson is now 68 or 69 years old. Mark McKillier is like my age. He might be a year or two younger than me, but he's closer to my age. So this is what I want you to do. Like, why don't I watch Athlean X and these other guys? Because they're freaking half my age. All right, I'm in my early 60s. So for me to watch a fitness guy that's in his 30s telling me how to bulk up and do, my body was operating a hell of a lot different when I was 30. I could still eat a pizza and have 3 or 4 beers and go to sleep and wake up and feel normal. Now, if I have like 2 pieces of pizza and a beer, I would feel like shit for the whole next day. So find fitness people who are either beginners or your age. And the beginners at any age will help you. Even though I'm not a beginner, if you are in your 50s or 60s, you might relate more to some of my fitness philosophy than guys that are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. We just have different bodies. Our testosterone levels are different. Our energy levels are different. I lived forever on 6 hours of sleep a night. Can't do it now. If I have 6 hours of sleep now, I feel like I'm sleep deprived. I have to have my 8 hours. Like, my thing is this, I want 7 to 9 hours a night. And if I get 8 hours, I'm happy as can be. I feel rested. I don't need naps and all this kind of stuff. Although I do like taking, like a 15, 20-minute cat nap. Like a 15, 20-minute cat nap, and you end up sleeping an hour or 2, you were sleep deprived, and you didn't even know it. If you're not sleep deprived, then a cat nap, or as some would call a power nap, you'll feel refreshed. You'll feel good after 15 minutes of just closing your eyes. You can order on Amazon those masks. It's like an eye mask. It just makes the room dark. And then you can still be productive, for another 4 hours after a cat nap. All right, well, I hope that answers some of the questions that you might have. The focus of this channel will be making a pivot. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Probably towards, I would imagine I'm going to finish out this season of Daybreak shows, and things are going to change. Things are going to change because I am a changeaholic. And, well, I think you're going to like the changes. I really do. I'm not changing for you. I'm changing for me. If you like the changes, then stick around and enjoy. If you don't, then you can move on, and you can be a fan of the Sultan during his Daybreak years, during the men's grooming years, during the pipe smoking years, that kind of thing. But I will be making a change for myself to stay fresh. I don't care about being relevant. That's not my That's not my goal, is to be relevant and please everybody, because, you know, when you try to please everybody, guess what happens? You end up pleasing none. It's like it's like the phrase, a friend of everybody is a friend of none, because I am creating and curating a following of like-minded people, and those that people say, I liked you better when you had the big beard. Okay. See ya. Go back and watch reruns of the big beard videos. I liked you better when you did all pipe smoking videos. Okay. All right, go back and watch reruns of pipe smoking videos, that kind of thing. So as I grow and as I change, you can grow and change with me, or you can move on. And thanks for being with me on, you know, in those periods of time as I have morphed and pivoted and changed and that kind of thing. So I'm not sure where I'm going next, but one of the things that I love doing is hosting live shows and talking with you and staying in touch with you and interviewing people. That will never stop. But as far as the main theme of my channel, I like to call it a lifestyle channel. It's a lifestyle channel. You know, I teach men, don't ever bore your woman. Thou shalt not bore. If you bore your girlfriend, she's gone. Not that she needs constant entertainment, but the reality is this: you don't want to bore your woman. Never. And I don't want to bore my audience in any form or fashion. I guess that's about it for today. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you have a great day today. The Lord has risen, and this is the beginning of something great in your life.